Welcome, everyone. Good morning. My name is Chris, and on behalf of the Colorado Department of Revenue, welcome to our virtual consumer use webinar. We are thrilled to have you with us today, and I will be your host for today's webinar. And I want to personally thank each of you for taking time out of your day to learn about consumer use and to be voluntarily tax compliant. I'd like to introduce my producers, Jamie and Diana. Both of them are working hard behind the scenes to help answer your questions and ensure that today's webinar goes well for all of you. I know that we have some very important information to share regarding today's webinar, so I am going to turn things over to Jamie first.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Jamie, and I will be one of your producers today. Again, we do appreciate each of you being here with us this morning. Now, you should have been able to download the training materials listed on our website, as they will be referenced during this webinar. Please take a moment to pull up your presentation slides and notes page document. Now, this handout contains the presentation along with some nice QR codes and some additional notes. Now, I do believe Diana also has some important information for you all. Diana?
Thank you, Jamie. Hi, everyone. My name is Diana, and I will be your co-producer today. I just want to remind everyone that there is a Q&A option at the bottom of the Zoom meeting for your convenience, and we will do a Q&A review at the end of the webinar. You can also click on that Q&A option at any time during the webinar if you have a question, and we will do our best to get it answered for you. As this webinar is a general overview and introduction to consumer use tax, business-specific questions are beyond the scope of this webinar. We are, however, going to provide a link in the chat to special regulations for specific businesses, as well as information on how to schedule a one-on-one appointment or how to contact the taxpayer helpline to ensure that you get your business-specific questions answered. Chris has some important information for you if you're attending today's webinar to earn CPE credit. Chris?
Thank you so much, Diana and Jamie. We're going to have a great webinar today. I just want to remind everyone that in order to receive CE credit, you must answer all poll questions in the time allotted and stay for the entire webinar. We will email your CE certificate to the email address that you used to register by close of business on April 6th. And if you don't receive your certificate, please email us at dor_taxtraining@state.co.us so we can go ahead and check that for you. We anticipate this webinar will last from approximately 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And so today's webinar will cover resources and tools to make finding information, filing, making a payment, and being voluntarily tax compliant so much easier. And we will also review an example on how to file and pay. So again, please remember to use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. And if you're looking to earn CPE credit, stay for the entire webinar and answer all polls in the allotted time. So upon completion of this webinar, you should be able to use the different tools and resources that are available for you, file your consumer tax returns in a timely manner, and also pay in a timely manner. During this webinar, we will be doing a series of live walkthrough demonstrations. So please note that all values used in these walkthroughs are for illustration purposes only, and tax rates are subject to change over time. So our mission is to always promote voluntary compliance with Colorado tax laws through information, education, assistance, and customer service. And our motto is to always help. So due to COVID-19, all of our tax class webinars are currently held via monthly on Zoom for your convenience. So to keep current on filing deadline changes and other important tax information and the department's latest COVID-19 updates, we encourage you to frequently check our website at tax.colorado.gov. There are also a wide variety of resources and tools that are available for you to use if you ever have any questions. So we have our website, the Taxpayer Helpline. You can email us or you can schedule an appointment to see someone in our local offices located in Colorado Springs, Denver Metro, Fort Collins, Grand Junction, and we also have one in Pueblo. So all of our local offices are now open to the public. So you can walk in or you can schedule an appointment. And each of our locations also have drop off boxes if you need to just drop off a form. So please be sure to follow mask mandates that are in effect in your local area when visiting an office. So, as promised earlier, Jamie is going to go ahead and drop a link on how to schedule a one on one appointment. The Colorado Department of Revenue also has a wide variety of websites. So we have Your Colorado Life, our main website, which is tax.colorado.gov, and Revenue Online. Your Colorado Life, which stands for Links, Information, and Information for Everyone, is an educational website developed by the Colorado Department of Revenue for Colorado residents and is packed full of valuable information. You can look at regarding how to start a business, how state taxes are collected and used, information on income tax collection and filing. There's also links to federal and state websites, and you can even look up to see how taxes can impact your college, career, or even car buying choices. Although it's a great resource for high school and college age students, we have found that Colorado residents of all ages visit the website. The content is relevant and engaging and easily accessible at our website at tax.colorado.gov. Now, Diana is going to go ahead and show you how to find it on the website, and Jamie is going to provide the website in the link or the link in the chat. So be sure you check it out. Diana?
Thank you, Chris. Okay, the best way to navigate to Your Colorado Life is going to be through the taxation homepage. So you'll start at tax.colorado.gov, hover over businesses, and go to the tax education and training section. You will then scroll all the way to the bottom until you see this cute banner with the airplane and select Learn More. Clicking Learn More is going to bring you to the Your Colorado Life website. There's an informational video at the very top, and below the video, you will find different sections filled with links. May I Take Your Order is going to have information on why, where, and how state taxes are collected and used. I Have to Do What will have information on income tax collection and filing. The alphabet starting with C is a section on how taxes impact college, career, and car choices. Side Hustles and Entrepreneurs is information on starting a business. An Epic Story will have information on a history of where taxes come from and how they are used. And Info Pursuit is where you will find podcasts, links to federal and state websites, and other information. That's all I've got, Chris.
Thank you so much. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, so the department's website is tax.colorado.gov. So on our website, you can find information for businesses, individuals, tax professionals, forms, and news. There's also a link on the homepage where you can download and print the Colorado State Tax and Fee Due Date Guide. This is a great reference for different tax type filings, due dates, methods, and associated forms. Jamie, will you please drop that link into the chat as well? And if you're not sure if you're using the most current tax form, don't worry about it. We got you covered. The most current version of all the forms we reference in this webinar, as well as all the other forms, can be found on our website under Forms on the homepage. There is a Forms tab, sorry. Think of our website as the Colorado Tax Information Superstore that's open 24/7, 365. And here's a little hint, all the information is free. Do you need a step-by-step guidance or additional information on sales tax topics? We also have an ever-expanding how-to video library that you can reference, and Diana is going to walk you through how to navigate the website to our videos right now. Diana, go ahead and start your performance.
Thank you, Chris. Alrighty, so to get to the video library, you guessed it, we're going to start on tax.colorado.gov. We're then going to hover over businesses and select tax education and training. And then we're going to scroll about a third of the way down. Now, I have mentioned this before. The first thing you'll see on our tax education and training page is going to be the Tuesday tax tip. We post this every Tuesday, and it contains really good information that's relevant to tax filing, and we try to keep updated with just the news and things like that. As of right now, our tax tip is all about the retail delivery fee as imposed by Senate Bill 21260. So if you need additional information, you can find all of that here. Now, scrolling past the tax tip, under the quick link section, you want to select the one that says video library to access all of the videos. Now, if you don't want to look at the general video library, there are more specific videos that are going to be available under business tax class, sales tax training, individual income tax training, and withholding. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the video library. And as you can see here, we have 6 different sections. They are color coded. The first top left is going to be sales tax videos. Next to that is income tax. And then you will have withholding, excise, and fuel. And then below we have our 2 electronic systems. So that's going to be Revenue Online and SUTS. And that's the video library.
Wonderful. Let's see. Oh, and then, so speaking of videos, I want to just make sure, Jamie, did you go ahead and share the links to our video library as all the other websites in the chat for us? I believe I
Sure.
asked.
Yep, they're in there right now, Chris.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we will be closing our poll asking if you are attending for CPE credit in just a moment. So please be sure to get your responses in so we can issue CPE credits appropriately. Revenue Online is an administration portal that you can use to make payments, file returns, add non-physical locations to your account, and update your mailing address, or if necessary, you can close your account. So Revenue Online has so many helpful links and additional services such as how to check the status of your refund, which I know is very important, and submitting power of attorney documents. We also know that understanding tax policy isn't always easy. So the department launched an automated self-service chat box on Revenue Online that we affectionately named Dory to help answer common questions from taxpayers. And last month marked the 1-year anniversary of the Dory chat box on Revenue Online. So over the last year, there have been 73,587 Dory chatbot responses to taxpayers and 25,673 actions completed by taxpayers using Dory. We are continually soliciting feedback from taxpayers who use Dory so we can tailor information to be more responsive. And Diana is going to show you how easy it is to use Dory.
Thank you, Chris. It's really starting to feel like the belle of the ball here.
Diana?
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and navigate to Revenue Online. So as we have before, start on tax.colorado.gov. But instead of going to businesses, we're going to hover over online services and select Revenue Online, which is going to be the first link in the list. This is going to take you directly to the Revenue Online homepage. From this page, you can make payments, update your mailing address, check the status of your refund, and send us secure messages. You can also file a return and look at any past filings if you have a username and password. To use Dory, our Everwise tax owl, click the bright orange owl at the top of the page. And as you can see, Dory will wave at you. And then you can type your question in the chat box here, and then you can either click the blue arrow or hit return. Since this is a consumer use tax webinar, let's type in consumer use and see what Dory comes up with. Dory's thinking. Okay, and it looks like Dory gave us 2 answers. The first one is information on how to file the return. So as you can see, this is a step-by-step instruction. To file a consumer use tax return, click File a Consumer Use Tax Return in the Sales and Use Tax box on the Revenue Online homepage. Now, you'll notice that when you scroll Revenue Online, the Dory box does stay put on your screen, which makes it a little bit easier to navigate. So Dory told us to go to this section and click this link. Seems pretty accurate so far. Let's go ahead and see what this second link is. So it states for more information and to download consumer use tax forms, visit tax.colorado.gov/consumer use tax. So we'll follow this link, and it looks like Dory dropped us off at a homepage for consumer use tax. This section has some quick links on how to look up tax rates, filing information, use tax information for businesses, how to file online, and frequently asked questions. You can also see that there's a brown box on the right-hand side that contains the links to the forms. And then it has a quick blurb about what consumer use tax is. Now, in our case, Dory gave us two very good results that are relevant to our search query. But if you did not like the results you were given, or if they were irrelevant, you can go back to the Dory box and click this link here. If this did not answer your question, click here to let us know to provide feedback. All right, and then let's go ahead and actually launch our second poll. So Chris, I'll give the screen back to you. And I want to know how you guys heard about us. Alrighty, let's see. Got 10 of you.
Thanks for
Somebody's
sharing
sleeping.
that walkthrough with us too, Diana. I think that'll be really helpful.
Yes, of course, my pleasure.
Should we give it another 10 seconds before we see the results?
Yes, definitely. Alrighty, so let's see what we've got here. It looks like 9 out of 10 people heard about us on the website, and one person used their social media skills to find us on Facebook.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Chris.
The topics that we will be covering today in detail include use tax, the forms DR 0252 and form DR 0251, and also how to file and pay. First, let's talk about what consumer use is, or consumer use tax is. Use tax must be paid by the purchaser of goods stored, used, or consumed by the purchaser where the seller did not or could not collect sales tax. So, consumer use tax must be paid by individuals and businesses for tangible personal property used in Colorado for personal or business purposes and not to be resold when tax was not paid at the time of purchase. This includes items taken out of inventory for personal or business use. So, for example, if you own a salon and you run out of shampoo and you need to grab some off the display to use on your customer, since you originally purchased the shampoo at wholesale for your own inventory, you now will need to pay consumer use tax on it as the shampoo was purchased at wholesale, taken out of inventory, and used for the business and not sold to the customer. So there are some easy ways to tell if you've paid sales tax. So the first one is just check your invoice. You can also reach out to the vendor if you're unsure, or just see if you've taken it out of inventory. Consumer use tax accounts do not require an application. To open a consumer use account and submit a return, simply use the FEIN or social security number of the business or the individual. So remember, you will need to file use tax for items purchased at wholesale that were used for the business and not sold to the consumer to collect tax. There are two jurisdiction types for state collected use tax. So one is Colorado state tax, and the second one is the special district tax. So the special district tax includes the RTD, CD, RTA, or the RTA. So you can refer to the 1002, which is the Colorado sales use tax rates document. So tax rates are determined by the point of possession of the consumer, meaning that you need to pay the tax at the point of purchase of the untaxed item. Excuse me. There are also consumer tax types that are not collected by the DOR or Department of Revenue. For information on local use tax collected on business materials and motor vehicles, you can consult the 1002 or contact that local jurisdiction directly. Let's go ahead and take a gander at the DR 1002 for a moment. This form shows all of the tax rates throughout the state. It is updated twice a year in January and July. And there are three specific sections I want to point out that pertain to special district tax. On page 1, scroll a little bit, is the Regional Transportation District or RTD. And you can see on the side, it lists the boundaries. On page 2 is the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District or CD. And you can also see the boundaries list right here. And then at the bottom of page 2 and the top of page 3 lists the Regional Transportation Authority or RTA boundaries. You will want to refer to this document for specific special district rates, or if you have any questions about it, please just go to this. This document is full of really great information. If the cumulative tax due at the end of the month is in excess of $300, the business or legal entity must file a return by the 20th day of the following month. If the business has less than $300 of total consumer use tax over the course of the year, then the business must file an annual use tax return, and that is due on January 20th of the following year. So this is referred to as casual filing. So always remember, for businesses, this tax type, the 20th, will be your best friend. Consumer use can be filed using Revenue Online without logging into an account. Individuals may choose to file this on their income tax returns at the end of the year for any items purchased for personal use. An example of this is if you buy goods from an online retailer and were not charged tax at the time of purchase. Individuals operating a sole proprietorship are required to follow business rules for purchases made for business use. If an individual operates a sole proprietorship, they would have to file and pay consumer use tax under the normal rules of businesses and not with their individual income tax return. So please remember to print a copy of the filing before submitting. If you have a Revenue Online account with consumer use access, you are able to view past filed returns in your portal. But if you didn't log in, since you are not in your account, you will not be able to review it after you submit it. Here is a side-by-side comparison with filing the paper form versus Revenue Online. So filing with Revenue Online is so much easier and faster, and it does all the calculations for you, so it can help eliminate human error. Diana, will you please demonstrate how to do the walkthrough for filing with Revenue Online?
Of course. Let's go ahead and get started. Our first step is going to be go to tax.colorado.gov. Then we will hover over Online Services and select Revenue Online. Once you're in Revenue Online, you may remember a few slides ago, Dory gave us some instructions on how to do this. So we're going to scroll to Sales and Use Tax section of the website. As of right now, it is the middle of the second row. And then we will click the link that says File a Consumer Use Tax Return. Now, the way I'm demonstrating this walkthrough today is if you do not have an account and if you have never filed consumer use. If you have filed consumer use in the past and you have a Revenue Online login, you can log in and file that way as well. So from this screen, you're going to select your filing period. There are two options. It's either purchases made before 2018 or in 2018 and following. I'm going to pretend like I purchased something in February of this year. So we selected 2018 and following, and we will now continue. This next section asks for your taxpayer information. It is important that the information you provide here matches any pre-existing Department of Revenue accounts. This is so that we can match the filing with your existing account if you have one. Now, you can file this way if you're an individual, but for today's demonstration, I'm going to pretend like I have an EIN and that I'm a business. Type in your EIN. Business will already be selected for you once you select it from the dropdown, and then type in your business name. Next, you will populate your mailing address for the business. We're going to pretend like I work out of the office. And then you need to click the blue link at the bottom that says click here to verify the address. If you do not verify your address, you will not be able to proceed. Going to select this address. Now, as you can tell, I didn't type in the full address. You do want to type in the full address if there is a lot of variation in your area. Since I know that this is a pretty unique address in a metropolitan area and it's not a new development, I just typed in the city and I was able to find my correct jurisdiction and county from the list. Moving forward, you are now going to be asked to provide purchase details. As I mentioned, I'm going to say that my purchases occurred at the end of February of this year. And then if you are filing a zero return, you can select this option here. But I am going to pretend like I purchased $1,000 worth of goods in the city of Lakewood. Now, from my previous consult with the DR 1002 form, I know that the city of Lakewood is within the RTD and CD boundaries. So all three of these sections will need to be populated with the purchase figure. Going to put $1,000 for the state, $1,000 for RTD, and $1,000 for CD. Now let's assume that throughout the month of February, I was also purchasing things in Basalt. That area is within the Roaring Fork RTA, so you will find the appropriate region here should you need it. So I will say that I purchased $500 in Basalt as well. Now you may have noticed that there are solid and dotted lines on this screen. Solid lines are things that you can populate yourself, and dotted lines is everything that Revenue Online is calculating for you. In our case here, you can see that one of the dotted line sections is the tax rates, and then the second one is tax amounts. So this is essentially a calculator eliminating the need for you to do any of your own math. Woohoo! We all like that. So I think that this is all I need. Once you have confirmed that all of your purchases are entered on the screen for that period that you're filing for, click Next. And this will now show you a summary screen. So it shows me my total purchases and the total tax due. Now, if I had calculated my own penalty and interest, I could have populated that information in the previous screen and it would have popped up under this tax penalty and interest section. Now, if you are filing late, so for example, if you purchase more than $300 in a given month and you are filing after the 20th, if you don't calculate your own penalty and interest, the Department of Revenue will send you a bill with the figures. Once I've verified that everything is correct, I can click Next to continue. And you will now need to check the box below to declare under penalty of perjury that your return that you're filing is true, correct, and complete given all known information. Once you select I agree, you're going to click the Submit option. And the system will now ask you for your email. You want to confirm your email twice to make sure there are no typos. And what's going to happen is the system will send you a confirmation email. It's not going to have your confirmation number in it, but it will provide you with a timestamp of when the return was submitted. Now, once we click OK, this is where you will see your confirmation number. It is important to either print or take a screenshot of this page and save it for your records should you need to ever contact us about this filing or reference it in the future. You also have the option to open up a printable view. This is going to open up a PDF of the return that you filed. So if you want to save this or print this option, it's a good option as well. And then if you go back to Revenue Online, you can also make a payment. And when you click Make a Payment, you have the following options. If you already registered your consumer use tax account with EFT, you can pay that way. Otherwise, you can select e-check or debit or credit card. And see, very simple, nice and easy, no frills.
Thank you so much, Diana. I think that was really helpful. So.
Of course, my pleasure.
And if you are using paper form DR0252, be sure to include the purchase invoice detail form when mailing in the consumer use tax return. Revenue Online includes all consumer use tax jurisdictions on one page. So your return is already saved into your account. If you are paper filing, file the DR0251 and keep the specific RTA schedules for your records. So remember that tax rates are updated January 1st and July 1st of every year. Next, we're going to go through a brief description of how to pay. There are multiple ways to pay. So you can pay by paper check. And if you're paying for sales tax, you can print a voucher out in Revenue Online and attach a check to your paper return. So you can mail in your check, or you can drop the return and the payment off at a service center. So remember, all service center locations currently have drop-off boxes outside of each location. You can also pay by credit card in Revenue Online, and there is a 2.25% plus a 77-cent processing fee. Or you can pay by e-check in Revenue Online, and there is a $1 processing fee. Each tax type has specific requirements regarding how you are able to pay. And we are going to go ahead and share our website link regarding payment information, methods, and options for your convenience. Jamie, will you go ahead and share that link for everyone?
My pleasure.
Thanks. You can also pay using the electronic funds transfer, or we call EFT. So there is no processing fee, but you do need to apply with the DR 5785 form, or you can also apply in Revenue Online. And you can create either an ACH credit or an ACH debit. So you will not be able to make payments via EFT until 24 to 48 hours after registering. So please don't set up an EFT and then try to pay through EFT on the same day. So your return will be late, and we don't want that to happen, and you don't want that to happen. There is also a 4 p.m. Mountain Standard cutoff time. Payments made by EFT must be made on or before 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the due date of the tax payment in order to be treated as paid on that day. We do have a special announcement. So the recent passage of Senate Bill 21-260 will create a 27-cent flat rate delivery fee on all retail deliveries made by motor vehicles that transport tangible personal property, subject to Colorado state sales tax. A single fee is charged per sale, regardless of how many separate deliveries result from that sale. So this includes deliveries made by the seller directly, as well as deliveries that are made through third parties. So while there are many items that are not subject to Colorado sales tax, this fee is assessed on all sales that include at least one taxable good. This fee goes into effect on July 1st of 2022. So the new fee return is being created, and the filing frequency and will be filed following the sales tax filing frequency. So more information regarding the retail delivery fee and how to register will be forthcoming. We encourage you to sign up to receive sales tax email alerts. And so you will always have the most current information regarding Senate Bill 21-260 and the retail delivery fee. And you can do this through our website. And I just want to show you really quick how easy that is. So if we're at the home page, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you're going to go to contact us. And you're going to hit sign up for email alerts. And right here, you can see you can sign up by just the tax type or by the topic, or you can also sign up by multiple lists. So if we click sign up by multiple lists, you go ahead and put your email address in and go ahead and click which kind of tax type or tax topic that you would like. Jamie, will you please put the link to the bill and the final demographic note for Senate Bill 21260 in the chat? Thank you.
Sure, I just put it in there.
Perfect, thank you. So the demographic note is easier to read than the bill, but we wanted to include both for your convenience. The topics we covered today are use tax, the forms DR 0252 and DR 0251, how to file and pay, and we also are providing tools and resources to help make voluntarily tax compliant so much easier. If you need a step-by-step guide to filing your taxes, you can go to our main website at tax.colorado.gov, and then you can click on the business option in the top black bar. So from there, you can go to tax training option and click on business tax class and watch all the pre-recorded class videos. And if you need help after this webinar, remember the resources and tools that are available for you. So we have our websites, the taxpayer helpline, email, or walk-in or appointment at any of our service centers. Please be sure to follow all mask mandates that are in effect in your local area when visiting an office. So again, my name is Chris, and our mission is to promote voluntarily compliance with Colorado tax laws through information, education, assistance, and customer service. And it is my sincere hope that you did experience each of these during today's webinar. And I'd like to thank my producers, Jamie and Diana, for their help this morning, and especially want to thank each of you for taking the time out of your busy day to join us.
Yes, good. Thank you all for joining. We definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your busy morning. And please join us for any future webinars that we offer.
Yes, thank you everyone for hanging out with us and learning with us. And we hope that this webinar makes tax compliance just a little bit easier.
Thanks. Have a great day.